Hello, hello, hello. It's Kyle Van Voorst with Voorst.com, and today we're going to be discussing managing target accounts and specifically the barrier that stops most complex sales from even getting started. Let's dive right in. Alrighty folks, so if you are in a position where you prospect and the sale is more complicated, you're solving bigger problems, you have different solutions that you need to sell, there's a big barrier you're facing. That's information. This is one of the biggest barriers in sales. Whoever has the most information typically wins because you can make better decisions. You can enable your prospects better if you have more information. The simpler the sale, the easier it is to have the information you need to quickly book meetings. The more complicated the sale, the more information becomes a problem. To illustrate this, I have a quick little chart to show you that I think will be super helpful. Alrighty, I'm in a flow chart. Yay, super exciting. So let me go through exactly what's happening, at least at a very high level, in the sales process. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out, and I'll keep making content like this. But let's dive in here and talk about the barrier of information, okay? So you are a sales rep. Maybe you're an SDR. Either way, your goal is to connect with the decision maker all the way over here and get a meeting on the calendar for them to evaluate your product or service. It's pretty simple on the surface. Well, there's a couple ways that this actually takes place. Way number one is in a very simple sale, you already have the information you need. So for example, chiropractors don't do a good job following up with patients, and you know most chiropractors don't. Well, what does that mean? Here's a tool to help you automate patient follow-up. It means that it's pretty simple. You have this problem, I have this solution. I know you're facing that problem because all chiropractors do, for example here. Then you get to take a little shortcut, and that's what this dashed line is, this dashed arrow. You're getting to take a shortcut right through the information barrier, right to the decision maker, and that's why you see in transactional sales environments, cold call, right to the decision maker, book a meeting, on to the next, and it's typically higher volume. Well, the more complex your solution, the more complex the landscape and the problems that you're solving, the harder it is to hit the nail on the head with the first try. You know generally that this problem is felt, but you don't know the impact of that problem on that organization, and you also don't know where on that priority list it falls. And because you're adding a lot more complexity and you're solving bigger problems and you're typically charging even more, there's more of a burden on information even before we ever engage with a decision maker. So right here you can see this rep is going to do research. They're going to talk to different stakeholders, 3, maybe even 10 stakeholders. And the idea is you're going to collect information. So let me give you an example. Enterprise companies typically, and I'll just show you the example we have here. Enterprise companies have a lot of challenges around cybersecurity, right? Well, let's say you're one of these reps, you talk to a whole bunch of stakeholders and you find out that there's an initiative to improve their cybersecurity training, and you're a company that sells cybersecurity training. This is obviously a really, really good indicator for you. Could you have just reached directly out to the decision maker? Probably, but at larger organizations, it's typically harder to get a hold of those people, and you are going to be coming to them with a very complex suite of solutions or services that you're going to offer them, trying to figure out which one makes the most sense for them, versus going directly to them and saying, hey, I spoke to Sarah on the IT team and she told me you guys have a big initiative to improve your cybersecurity training at the company, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about how we can help. That's the idea here. You leverage research and different stakeholders in order to improve your chances of getting a meeting with the decision maker. Sometimes these stakeholders are going to make that intro for you. Other times they're just going to give you the information you need in order to make this kind of conversation happen. So for the rest of this video, at least, I would like to walk you through how to organize some of the information you're going to be collecting on your target accounts. And I want to stress here, this is primarily if you're working a more complex sale where the deal sizes are higher, maybe it's $100,000 a year software that you're selling. This is not intended to be used for very transactional sales. And the reason why is because information is less important in those types of sales. So let me go back to my screen here and share with you an easy template you can use in order to better manage this information. All right, so here it is. We got the account name, got some details here. I'm not going to bore you with this stuff. Stakeholders, this is a very important piece. You want to find the decision maker, of course, but then find the other people who are lower on the totem pole. Maybe the directors, maybe one VP's in there, but maybe there's a couple actual end users, right? Boots on the ground people that you can get a hold of in order to gain information. And then you're going to use research and conversations with stakeholders to fill out these two sections, which are corporate priorities and active projects. And then finally, with this information, you're going to put together what I call challenge, solution, impact. What's the challenge that that company is facing based on your research and your conversations? How can you solve that challenge? So you put a little description on your solution to that challenge. And then the most important part, what is the impact of that challenge? Now, when you go through and you find out, corporate priorities are increasing our IT infrastructure. Okay, great. Cybersecurity is probably something that's really top of mind then. Or maybe you find an active project is they are actively looking for a cybersecurity vendor. These are the things that you can put in these areas, which is going to enrich the information that you have for when you do reach out to these higher level people. And it's very customized, it's very personalized, and we could talk about that on a different video. For now, take this kind of template, pick one of your target accounts, and work to fill out the corporate priorities and the active projects and do the challenge, solution, and impact before you reach out to the decision maker. Because then you're going to be reaching out with information that's very relevant to them. And you're going to be able to say, I spoke to people in your organization. I spoke with Sarah, James, and Kevin, and they told me A, B, and C, and we can help you solve those problems. Alrighty, so fill out that sheet. Collect the information from the stakeholders, collect the information from your own research. And when you go to the decision makers, watch as they listen more, because you're coming to them with information that's super relevant to something they're experiencing today versus just a blanket generic outreach that they get 10 to 15 of a day. You're going to see better results. Hopefully that was helpful. If it was, comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks so much, and we will talk again soon.